What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Straight Up Real Talk. This is your host once again. Of course, I'm here. It's my show. But anyways, I was debating over what I would talk about this episode. I have so many topics for you guys, and the problem is with me deciding to go ahead and cut back to one video a week. It's a matter of choosing those topics. And a lot of those topics I have said in previous videos there's going to be more about, such as the 50 Shades book. And no, this is not the topic for this video, so I apologize if that's what you guys were hoping for. And I got to thinking, and I was looking back at previous videos, and in one of the previous videos, my feminism one, I realized I didn't go into too much depth about it and why I personally am a feminist and why I want to fight for gender equality so badly. I figured now would be a good time to do that. So that's what this episode is going to be about. It's going to be about why I'm a feminist and going into further detail. I am a feminist because I am tired of the stigmas that are surrounding men and women alike, to be honest with you. I am tired of hearing how men are supposed to be these manly men that never cry, that never show emotion, that don't talk about emotion, and all this other stuff. I am tired of hearing about how women are supposed to be these dainty women that are that head up cleaning the house and are barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen, and all this other bullshit. Now, granted, the barefoot in the kitchen kind of thing has been around ever since the women's rights movement. Or at least not that much anyways. There is still some things out there, and there are still some people out there that turn around and say these kinds of things. I'm tired of it. As Emma Watson said in her United Nations speech, men should have the right to be sensitive. Women should have the right to be breadwinners and be manly and not be sensitive if they so choose. Another reason why, and this goes more directly towards things with men. Now, I understand that women have this problem as well. I understand that women have a hard time getting sexual violence recognized by the jury, police officials, and everything else. Personally, I find that to be a legislation problem, and the fact that all the benefit of doubt rests on the prosecution. The prosecution has to prove their case, not the defense. And to me, that's a little off. And I'll go into that very little bit right now. And the reason why I feel that's a little off is because it's the defense that's defending themselves. They should be able to prove their case, not the other way around. At least that's my opinion. Now, granted, there's people out there that are going to say, well, then the prosecution can turn around and just make up whatever charge they want, slap some evidence together that is sort of supporting it, and then the defense has to come up with some kind of defense against it. And sometimes it's hard to do that. And I know it's hard. I know it's complicated. But I really do think that it needs to be a little bit more of the defense having to prove their story. Especially in cases where they say they wanted it. Now, with that said, I'm going to concentrate more on a male inequality than a female. Most male cases, when they bring up sexual violence or sexual assault or rape or anything like that to a police officer, to their friends, they get laughed at. Because most people are sitting there thinking, you're a man, You're supposedly the stronger sex, which, by the way, I totally think is wrong, because I know there's plenty of women out there that are stronger than me. I'm not afraid to admit that. But you're supposedly the stronger sex, and you're saying you were forced to having sex with a woman. People look at that, and they turn around, and they say there's something wrong with that. Especially with the stigma that a male is constantly horny. That a male only wants sex. And that's it. More inequalities, more stereotypes. And the more that those stereotypes are believed, the more males have a hard time doing things. In Emma Watson's speech, they said she said that she invites more men to join the feminist cause, because when the inequalities for men are matched, then the inequalities for women will fall in line. And I find that to be true. Thing is, when a male reports a sexual violence, we're laughed at. We're told that we wanted it, or that we wanted revenge, or something else, and we're just laughed at. Or, dude, that's what guys want. How can a guy be raped? Thing is, guys can be raped. I have a friend that was violated by a female. Now, the whole story behind it is they got into a fight, day before. She turned around, she burned his guitar, and then he turned around and kicked her out. Then they met up, and they made up, and he invited her back in. Now, just because they made up, he was not in the mood to be sexual with her. Well, she didn't want to hear no, and she took it. She took it anyways. She violated him. She turned around, and while he was sleeping, tied him down and forced him to have sex. He woke up to her on top of him. Now, when he went to go report this to the local police department, he turned around and was laughed at by the detectives there and told that, dude, you need to stop being a pussy and accept the fact you wanted it. Of course, my friend is not one to make waves, but he also isn't one to turn around and be told that he wanted something when he didn't. So he made a big deal, and it ended up coming down from higher ups that they needed to do an investigation into this. Now, the investigation went as far as asking questions, and when questions came back with answers of the fact that she had burned his guitar the night before this incident, they closed the case saying that he did it. He filed this report out of revenge. That it was consensual sex, including kink, and that he was filing a false report. When he argued this fact, he was told that if he kept arguing it, he would be charged with filing a false report. Because that's the right way to handle these things. To threaten a victim of sexual abuse with further charges. And you know what? In today's society, that is what the stereotypes have led up to. Now, I am done bitching about indifference. I am done with it. Instead, I'm going to bring up some situations here. Men are taught to not be insensitive. Men are not be sensitive. Sorry. Men are taught that we cannot talk about our feelings. We can't talk about what we're doing. You will never hear a group of men having a conversation, sitting there talking about what they're doing at home or anything else like that. Because to us, we feel that's against our social stigma. It makes us less of a man. Now let me ask you something. Do we want to continue on with this kind of a stigma? When a man can't talk about his emotions. If a man's feeling suicidal, he's more likely to keep it to himself. If you look at the statistics for suicide, there are more suicides due to men killing themselves than women. And let me tell you why, or at least what I feel is the reason why. Because it is not socially acceptable for a man to turn around and tell someone, I am feeling suicidal. It is not socially acceptable for a man to turn around and say, I need help. So then things get too dark and too much, and they end their lives. Now imagine that was your son. Imagine that was your nephew. Imagine that was your boyfriend, your husband, who, if he was just socially capable of speaking out, he could have gotten that help and he could be saved. Do we really want to continue on with the social stigma? And it's even further compounded by shows, comedy shows. Because when you have someone talking about a female smacking a man, when you see that, it's laughed about. It is laughed about. Oh, it's funny when a woman smacks a man. But you know what? Let's turn around and say a man does the same thing, and that guy becomes a woman abuser, and so many other things. Now, where's the equality in that? Why is it funny for a man to be assaulted by a woman, but it's criminal and despicable for a woman to be assaulted by a male? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying that it should be okay for a man to assault a woman. Fuck that shit. I believe a man that beats a woman deserves everything that he gets to him. And I believe a woman that beats a man deserves everything she gets to her. There's the equality in it. There should not be no inequality. There are places in our justice system that a man hitting a woman will give him longer time in jail than a female hitting a male. Why? Where is the equality in that? The social stigma needs to stop. Women have the right to be treated equal to men, and men have the right to be treated equally to females. It's that simple. So yes, I am proud to say that I am a feminist. I am willing to fight for gender equality. Because I am tired of the social stigmas. So here's where I'm going to take my stand. Men aren't supposed to be sensitive. I'll tell you right now, I cried during Harry Potter when Dobby died. I cried during Harry Potter when Sirius Black died. I cried during Harry Potter when Dumbledore died. Seeing the emotion on Jacob Black's face when Bella was supposedly dead, that broke my heart. It didn't make me cry because I knew Bella wasn't dead, because I read the books. But it broke my heart. When my grandmother died, I cried. When my grandfather died, I cried. When my best friend was hurting himself, I was hurting. I'm just as sensitive as everyone else. And I have the right to show that publicly. And today I'm taking the stand, and I will show it publicly from here on out. The whole breadwinner thing. Personally, let's face it, I make YouTube videos. I'm at home. I am disabled. Yes, I bring some money home, but you know what? My roommate, who is a female, brings home more money than I do. And I'm fine with that. I am perfectly okay with her being the breadwinner. I am perfectly okay with me dealing with me being disabled and being a homebody and taking care of the home. There is nothing wrong with it. Not one bit. Plain and simple. The inequality needs to stop. We need to realize that we're all human beings. Let's stop thinking along race, gender, sexual orientation, or anything else. And let's start thinking along the fact that we're all human beings and we all deserve to be treated like that. In the comments below, do me a favor. Put down why you're a feminist. Or if you're not a feminist, put down why. I would like to know why you're not a feminist. Why you feel that gender equality is not a big deal. Now, I'm not saying I'm judging you, because everyone has their opinion, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. This is my opinion. This is my show, so I am stating my opinion. But I give you guys room, and I want us to have a nice little debate about this. Put down in the comments why you're a feminist or why you're not a feminist. Put down in the comments what kind of society stigmas don't affect you. So if you're a man and you feel free to cry in public, put that down there. Stop hiding it. It's time we take a stand and realize we are all human beings that deserve to be treated equally. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And hey, let me salute you guys. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, because there's going to be more episodes of Straight Up Real Talk. And until next time, let's keep it real. And remember that it is everyone's responsibility to treat everyone equal. This is it for this episode of Straight Up Real Talk. Until next time, see you guys later. What's up, guys? Just a little bit more of a tidbit for you guys from this video. I just wanted to throw in there, for those of you that are out there being who you are, not caring about crying in videos if you're a guy, or not caring about being the macho strong type if you're a female, or going against any of the other stereotypical gender bullshit, I want to say thumbs up to you guys. Keep being who you are. Keep being real. Remember, the whole bullshit of fake it until you make it, that's exactly what it is. It's bullshit. Just be you, and if someone doesn't like you for you, well then you know what you can do to them? Give them the right middle finger. Correct? In the meantime, for you guys that want to see more of me, click down below, and hey, you'll see another video. I believe it's my last week's video about linking pedophiles to homosexuals. Might want to go give that one a watch. Trust me, I had a nice little rant there. In the meantime, you know what to do. Keep it real. Oh wait, you guys are still here? What are you doing? Go click the video. Go catch up on what you missed. Keep it real, guys.